Hey guys, it's Miss Saldivar. I am going to be showing you what we are doing this week. We are rendering a still life. So let's talk about still life. Still life is an artistic rendering of inanimate objects such as fruit, flowers, and household items, which are usually arranged on a table or shelf. They can also be items of personal significance. Before we paint, we must first learn to draw what we see. Why still life? Artists have created still life artworks for various reasons. It can reflect the status of their owner, be it humble or haughty, for their symbolic meaning, which reveals a hidden narrative. It can capture the transient beauty of natural objects like a flower or fruit, or as a controlled structure to express the abstract qualities of the visual elements and as a technical exercise. Here are just some examples. This is artist Robin O'Neill. She had a show at the Fort Worth Modern. Here's a high school student, anonymous high school student. Here's MC Escher, a very famous artist who loved minute detail. And this is an anonymous female artist. I'm trying to find her name still. Okay. Art history moment, Proto-Renaissance. Before the 16th century, still life was usually limited to the background detail of religious figurative art, usually with some symbolic significance. In Carla Crivelli's painting to the left, the apples and fly represent temptation and corruption, while the cucumber is seen as an antidote to these as it was a symbol of redemption. Many fruits had meanings that now seem rather strange. For example, the cherry symbolized heaven. It was known as the fruit of paradise, and the pomegranate symbolized Christ's resurrection. Proto-Renaissance or pre-Renaissance can be described as having very flat figures without a technical knowledge of how to render objects within the plane with correct perspective. Others would be stacked without creating depth, a depth of field that as they hadn't learned correct perspective. And you can see the children also looked a little bit strange. Her fingers are over elongated, and it all seems like it's stacked on like in one frame instead of receding into the distance. In Renaissance, which is about 100 years later, technical depiction of a glass sphere was extremely difficult at this time, as 3D figures were still being fleshed out. Remember Proto-Renaissance and the flat plane. In this figure, Leonardo da Vinci is exhibiting his talent and mastery by painting a glass orb, imbuing it with mysticism regarding its meaning and purpose. As stated previously, as stated previously, the unique technical challenge still was and is considered a rite of passage among artists. If you want to read more, you can go to this website on the glass orb mystery. This is Leonardo da Vinci's Salvator Mundi, circa 1500. 100 years after that, we have the Baroque period. In the Baroque, we have opulence has gone overboard. Hidden symbolism still abounds, but with more flash to show wealth of the patron. Technique was king, but so were flashy flowers, baskets, and skulls. Let's take a moment here and type in the chat, what do you think they represent? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we are going to try our hand at still life. But first we have to talk about value. Value defines how light or dark a given color or hue can be. Values are best understood when visualized as a scale or gradient from dark to light, or from light to dark. High contrast image had few tonal values in between strong hues like black and white. Value is responsible for the appearance of texture and light in art, especially in black and white art using a pencil. Okay, so for our warm-up, which is assignment 4.1 in your Google Classroom, you're going to draw a sphere with shading. You may use the warm-up from week you may use the warm-up from week 3 that we completed in class. So if you've already done this, great. Just add a little bit more detail, make it look finished at the back, sign your name. Step 1, we have created our sphere. Step 2, we are going to create a value scale under your sphere, which should be 10 boxes. This whole thing can be maybe half a page, does not have to be very big. Under your sphere, draw in 10 boxes and shade from lightest to darkest. These shades of gray make up the meat of a drawing and help to create the illusion of depth and three-dimensionality. I typically create a value scale when I have a new drawing tool to investigate the types of marks it makes and how dark the values are with that tool. Okay, and that would be in box 10. That's going to be your darkest box. And then you're going to go a little bit lighter, lighter, lighter. And then in box 1, you're not going to put anything because that's our baseline. That's going to be your highlight right there. Okay, once you finish that, of course, you need to sign it and date it, the right-hand corner right underneath your value scale. And you're going to take a quality photo, meaning you're not going to take a dark photo, too dark because I can't see it, or too blurry. And you're going to take a photo of your sphere and value scale, just like this, except you're going to have yours signed. And upload the image to assignment 4.1, sphere and value scale warm-up in the Google Classroom. Next, for your week project, which we are going to be working on in class, so we'll definitely be able to finish this in class time. You're going to create a personal still life. Here's some examples from famous artists, M.C. Escher, Robin O'Neill. Here's a high school student. You're going to find anything you have at home that you really like, your most favorite objects. Is it a crystal? Is it a baseball glove, scuba mask, a rolling pin, a wrench, makeup? What is something that means something to you? Only maybe you would understand. Then you're going to grab a lamp and set up some dramatic lighting so we have a light source. Make sure you look for highlights and shadows. The light source needs to be hitting one side of these objects. Use a sheet, towel, etc. for a simple backdrop. Wrinkles can be part of the interest of your drawing. Arrange the objects in a close grouping with some overlapping and contrast. Adjust the light and objects until you are happy. Arrange objects in a dynamic composition. Ensure there is a dramatic source of lighting to give shadows and highlights. Take a quality photo and use the photo as your reference for the rest of the drawing. This is just for you, this photo. Because a lot of us may have to put the objects back. We don't want the object still life to get disturbed by brothers and sisters or family members or pets. So that's why we need to take a photo of it for yourself so that you can continue to reference that photo for the rest of the week. You're going to do this on a blank sketchbook page. Pencil in the objects closest to furthest. We're going to go over that in our next slide. Make sure you sign your work at the bottom right-hand corner and date it. This is due Friday, October 2nd. Okay, this is just step-by-step. So on an unlined paper, begin lightly gesturing in your objects. You can lightly outline them. I know we talked about how I don't want us to heavily outline the work. So very lightly outline. Objects closest to the viewer will be larger, and the ones further away will be smaller. That's correct perspective. The edge of the bell pepper here is bigger than the end of it. It's bigger than the pear, which is further in the back. Use correct perspective, overlap some objects. Begin layering using shading and circular motion of pencil. Shade in only the areas darkest first. Begin adding value layers using elliptical or circular strokes to blend away any harsh edges. Use light pressure. And then when you're getting close to finishing, you're going to add increasing dark value. Use slightly more pressure on pencil to create more contrast. Use all the values that we did in 1 through 10. So you're going to use all of these values. Eventually, they will all be represented in your drawing. And that's how you know when you are done. So organize, sketch, begin layering, value, increase values, sign at the bottom right. I do not accept work unless it's signed and dated. Take a quality photo and turn it in. That's due Friday. So I just really want to briefly go over how you submit your work into Student Gallery for those of you that need a little bit of help on that. First of all, you're going to claim a slide. So my slide is number 2. Again, this is a student gallery. The instructions are create a personalized still life in your sketchbook, take a quality photo of your drawing, upload your image to the Google assignment, and insert it into the student gallery. Do not change the layout or colors of the slides, and thank you for respecting all the artwork. I do appreciate that. So the first thing I did is I claimed this slide in my correct class. I'm going to say I'm in period 1. So I'm going to put it after period 1. Okay, next I put my name. Now I need to insert my image, but I emailed it to myself because I took a picture with my phone. So I'm going to go to my email and I'm going to double click on the image. I never want to just save that first image because this is just a thumbnail. It's a lower quality image. I always want to click download. And so I downloaded it now, and that went straight into my downloads folder, which will also happen to you if you follow this method, which is super easy. Okay, so now I can go back to my slide, and I'm going to click insert from the computer. And I go to my downloads folder, and here it is, the first image. Okay, so I'm done with that part. I have officially added it to my student gallery. Now I'm going to insert it or upload it to our assignment, personalized still life. You guys will see a box here, and you just click the plus sign, then click the paperclip. You go to uploads, then you go to browse. You're going to browse inside your downloads folder image that you want to submit. Then you're going to click turn in and then turn in again. Okay, that's all we have for right now. Make sure to start your warm-up or start your final. Either one, wherever you are at. Everything is due on Friday. If you have any questions whatsoever, please email me at olivia.saldivar@fwisd.org. And happy creating. See you later, guys.